Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
A show where we discuss tips, tricks, and tools to help all Guardians succeed and enjoy playing more.
What makes us different? Well, for starters, we're not streamers or YouTubers. We just have a passion for Destiny and are dedicated to keeping Guardians informed and up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 info, news, and opinions.
We encourage your questions and feedback. You can contact us either by email at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com or on Twitter at twotitans_hunter.
Now, on with the show.
Hello and welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. I'm your host, Nitedemon, joined this week by no one. No one's here. But if no one's here, we must summon them. Let us summon the respawn.
What are you summoning?
You! I summoned you.
No, I'm gonna be late. We're still out and about. So
We played the music, we put up the signal, it's in the sky, you're
you
here.
keep saying we. I only see you.
Me and Craig and Garrick.
Oh, okay. I see.
No, you don't sound like you're out, you sound like you're asleep.
I'm both out and asleep.
Ah.
No, I'm not feeling well.
Well,
So
you don't have to show up today if you're not very well. If you've been out crime fighting all night.
listen, one of those two things is true. The crime or the fighting. And each individually bad on its own. Thank you, Elijah, for your contribution, sir. Jesus.
So, are you going to hurry up and do your thing and get back indoors so you can properly podcast?
The
or
wife
you...
is doing the thing. That's why I'm out in the car with the baby, so the wife can mail the things.
Wait, you're out in the car? You sound
I'm
much
in the
better than you
car.
do when you're in the house. I thought
It's
you were at
because I
home. You
have
actually
the-
sound surprisingly really good for being mobile.
It's because I'm not using Bluetooth. I'm using whenever you hook up Discord on the phone, you have the option to use
You're such a
Bluetooth, to
tease,
use the
Peroty.
speaker, or to use the phone.
No, I mean I
I'm
legitimately
using
didn't
the
realize he
phone.
was like outside. It actually it's not quite as crisp and clear, but it's not the usual like in the background of driving.
Yeah, that's because I'm parked in a
That's 'cause
parking
he's
lot
stationary.
outside the
Yeah.
U.S. Postal Service. Yeah.
For now.
But either way, I'm at the very least muting myself because Elijah is very interruptive right now. So anyway, there you go.
Fair enough. So, welcome to the show
Soon
this
as
week.
I
I
figure
am
out
Nitedemon,
how to
your
do
British host.
exactly that.
In the car,
Says voice.
our
There we
roving
go.
reporter this week, Hunter Master Rager, unable to mute himself just yet. Respawn, who will be back in the studio with us at some point soon. And then to the right of me, as usual, my Titan brethren, Peroty.
Hello.
Hello.
We're here. We're tired. We're doing our best.
We are doing our best. People that are not doing their best this week is Not Arf, who won't be able to join us this week. So there'll be no lore, unfortunately. So maybe next week you'll have to tune in for your lore fix. Maybe. I've no idea. He could be here.
Yeah. Welcome back to Not Arf's Not Lore.
So yeah, it's going to be a pretty short show then.
No lore. There's barely a twab. Yeah.
Well, there's things to discuss, and I'm sure that when Hunter Master Rachel gets home, there'll be a rant maybe about something specific. Because we haven't had one of those in a while.
Witches lie. I'm not going to rant about it. I'm going to praise it.
Like your Lord and Savior Nitedemon?
Indeed.
Praising you as our Lord and Savior, Nitedemon. Praising you as our Lord and Savior, Nitedemon. Nitedemon. Nitedemon.
For anybody that didn't hear that, Respawn said that he was going to praise the Fellwinter's nerf. Well, not nerf. I wouldn't say nerf. It's a Fellwinter's change.
No.
And the
in
Astral
this is
Horizons
Respawn.
change.
It's a nerf.
Yes,
It's a nerf,
okay.
and he's very upset about it. Except
In
for this
his
one
eyes-
nerf. This is the one good nerf.
In fact, this is probably... Hang on, he's coming back.
No, Peroty is right. It absolutely is a nerf. They're trying to say it's a change, and you have surplus. And if you have all 3 surpluses filled up, it's, at least according to Fallout's video, which if you haven't seen it, take a look at it. It's almost exactly the same as the quick
Should we
draw,
wait until you get
right?
home? We can discuss this
Okay, yeah.
because you're
But
really
I was
not
just
in a good
jumping on the
place.
fact that it is a nerf. I'm sorry. Okay, bye.
Anyway, so yeah, next week in Destiny, your energy, you can enjoy boosted valor all week long. You can get ready to make some mayhem in the Crucible, but no one's going to be doing any of that, Nitedemon.
No.
No one. And there's one particular reason. It's not because there's something else out that's, Gambit isn't blowing up. No one's running strikes. It's not the Grandmaster Nightfalls.
Is it because there's another game that like Respawn's playing?
No. I don't think that's it. We haven't pivoted there yet entirely. I think there's some sort of metal sheets are coming back. Some like, I don't know, copper curtains or something returns.
Ah, I get you. Gold plated windows.
Yes, that's it. The gold plated windows have returned.
Ah, brilliant.
Our buddy Lord of the Salad comes back with all of his bounty of vegetables to his farmer's market of pain. And Lord Selden comes back with the Iron Banner returning. Which I know, again, there's other things to do, I suppose, but really, that's the point. I've got to finish replacing my 90-year-old Iron Banner armor with my new Iron Banner armor because I can't use the new Elemental Well perks yet. So I need to replace my armor, and I don't quite have the rolls I need. I've got a chest piece. It's only like a 59. I'm gonna need to see 60s or above here, guys, before I can properly swap out the armor set.
You don't need to see 60s and above. We've been over this. There's videos out there, and I can't remember who did it. I think it was either somebody like Crazy Mr. Pips or Ascendant Nomad, somebody like that I posted a couple of weeks ago saying that you don't necessarily need 60 plus stats. You just need something that's going to work for you. So it could be in the high 50s. That just gives you like 15 in 3 different stats that would kind of help boost you. Which, to be honest, when I see something, I used to, when you see something in 50s, I just dismantle it thinking, I've got it in my mindset that it needs to be 60 and above, but it doesn't. So I now kind of take the time and look a bit more closely at the stat rolls.
I mean, you're completely right, and the numbers are made up, and none of the stats really matter. But I figure if I'm going to commit to this armor set for the next 3 years, because I don't look at armor sets. I mean, especially with transmog coming. I mean, I've already changed the look of the armor I'm wearing now to a different set that I like the look of better.
Yeah,
I figure if I'm going to commit to these, I at least might as well start with a decent, set of base stats. I've got legs that let me throw grenades for days. I have some absurd discipline roll on them, and I was like, yeah, let's put just more discipline. These will be the grenade legs. That's what they do, and then we'll balance it out, as we go.
So they haven't really said anything else about next week apart from just Iron Banner and Bonus Valor. There isn't a list of, well, there isn't anything listing for the Grandmaster for next week. So this week we're currently at the Fallen Saber Strike. Last week was the Proving Grounds. The previous week was Sepkis. So does it now roll back to the Arms Dealer? That's the one, because that's the other Cabal one, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be that.
I think it possibly be.
Yeah, is this where we start our smorgasbord buffet, or are we another week or two away? Because I know we're getting toward the end of the season.
The smorgasbord of Grandmasters comes on April 20th, which gives you access to all the Grandmasters. You then can select which one you want to do. So if you are chasing the Conquer title, you can then select which one you've missed out, or you can then select all of them if that's what you want to do. So April 20th. And apparently that is going to be the week where you can farm for the Palindrome as well. So you can do your Grandmasters and your Nightfalls, and the Palindrome would be up that week.
And that's also the week where our Guardian Games comes back.
It is indeed.
Because that starts April 20th to May 9th. So it's going to be a big week, huge week. Yeah, the calendar just has Iron Banner for next week, and then the super secret and exotic hand cannon quests are going to drop in because we just don't have enough exotic hand cannons yet. That's the problem.
No, we don't need. Oh, yes, we do need. No, we don't.
No, we don't need no. Mm-mm. So yeah, sort of, this is like just the I say quiet week. This is just sort of like the quietish week that Bungie would like tease, just drop something in. Like Core Ray will come back and send us on something crazy or something like that. They're like, all right, we've got the Proving Grounds and got this, and Iron Banner's up. Guardian game starts soon. We're just gonna sprinkle something in here, just when you least expect it. I'm
Well,
not saying we need it, but I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if they drop something on us.
I mean, if you think about it, just these 2 weeks here, I think are kind of these 2 weeks are going to be the lull before the end of the season. I mean, we've got 31 days left the rest of the season. So if you take out the next 9 days from that, that leaves us 20 days for the season. We've then got 2 weeks of Guardian games to take us towards the end of the season. And I know a lot of people are, Guardian games, but it's an event in the game. It's something extra for you to do. You don't necessarily have to do it. And Bungie didn't necessarily have to put it in the game, but they have as another fun activity for you to kind of get behind if you want to. So there are things to do each week. And then possibly something in the last week. There's always something that kind of ties in the last week of the season to the next season of Redacted or season of Glass, as Paul Tassu was putting it in one of his videos this week. I like that he's kind of made up his own one and gone, I can't be bothered to say Redacted anymore. It's going to be Season of Glass because the Vault of Glass is coming back, so it makes sense to call it something like that. Yeah, I approve.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, I was looking because I got as I started talking last week, saying this comes this season, this comes next season. Kingsley Mack from Guardian Hub pointed me toward the the blueberries.gg site, which is you think why would I need that? So I'm a Destiny veteran. I've been playing since day one, Alpha 002. Like no, but there's some good information there, such as he's put together a page on leveling and then the D2 roadmap because there's so much information. It's hard to keep track of when things are coming. So Rick, the guy who runs blueberries.gg, has put together a roadmap of what's coming in the next season. And what, because Bungie loves to refer to season 14 or this or seasons of this, and it's this, and it's like it was like multiple different words and names to say the same thing. So next season, it starts May 11th. Vault of Glass comes back. We get transmog. They're changing the leveling system to make it less painful. Removal of the gear sunsetting's official. Phase 2 of our gilded titles, the improved shader system, which I am stupendously excited about. More PvP stasis, tweaks and mods and whatever, and Iacora Ray comes back. So I appreciate just him making this page, and he's got for season 15. Here's what comes in 15, and then what little we know about the rest of 2021 for 16 and beyond. So I'm appreciating this page just to keep track of when do we get this? When does this happen? 3 peaking trials? Oh no, that's season 15. That's the next time. When does crossplay come? Oh, that's not May. That's the next season after May. Because there's so much coming, and it's hard to keep track of what actually drops in which season.
Very nice. So who was that pointed you in the direction? Was that old Kingsley Mack from the Guardian Hub?
It was indeed he of the many watches of the Discord who he sort of looks over like all the Discords like a goblin or gargoyle gargoyle sitting up on top of the cathedral just looking down overseeing all the things. He's just the Discord gargoyle. Sits over there, watches over us, makes sure everything's okay, swoops in with information from time to time. I'm not used to there being like quiet. It's kind of freaking me out.
He's around. He's listening still.
No, he's
he
gone.
Can jump back in at any point.
And he's not listening though. He's out. He's off. He's disconnected.
No, it says on the right side of my screen that Hunter Master Rager is on his mobile at somewhere. So he's seeing the little green lights flash around our names, and he's just waiting for the opportune moment to jump back in and scream us.
Probably.
So as he's not here to interrupt us, shall we get into this week at Bungie?
Yeah, I think we shall for the 8th of April, 2021, where we're going to dive into some details.
Well, we're not. They are.
I mean, we're going to dive into their details. They've given us the details to dive into, just like a Scrooge McDuck pile of details to splash into and swim around in.
They say details, but when you really kind of get down to it, there are still many, many questions that are asked. Even like the YouTube videos I've watched this week with all the different changes of people going over it, they're like, and I think Mercury's on the Massive Breakdowns podcast was like, they've given us these
breadcrumbs.
Yeah, they've given us a few details, but they haven't given us kind of any numbers or actual refined details about what this actually means. He said we can only surmise what this could actually possibly be, which doesn't help. But
no, especially so maybe you're right. They're diving into the details, sharing a couple of those details with us, and the rest of the details are a mystery that we will get to learn in time or not.
Yeah.
So apparently, they feel that we face the right of proving on behalf of the Vanguard, and in doing so, we've put an end to the growing conflict with the Empress Keitel and her followers. While not preventing wars, we've also found time to investigate the distress signal from the ghost ship of sorts in the Presage mission. And, they had the entire ride-along deep dive of that recently. Did you have a chance to watch any of that? Or is that
I haven't. No.
I've lost track now if that was the one 2 weeks ago. Because they did Deep Stone Crypt, and then they did the Presage after that, right?
Yeah, they did Presage this week. So
yeah,
apparently it's really good, and there's lots of kind of useful information in it.
Yeah. See, I'm still on Monday. This is still Monday to me. It's just been one long day of a blur. So I'm going, I know that happened. At some point, YouTube popped up and said, hey, you should watch this thing. And I said, I remember that was happening, but I do not have time.
I mean, I will watch it at some point in the next couple of days because I want to see if there's any kind of explanation, a bit more deeper dive into the lore, if there's any kind of lore nuggets in there. Especially since Not Arf's been doing the Captain's Log for the last couple of weeks. It's kind of really made it interesting to find out what's been going on and what these. I really want to know what these kind of plants are on the Glycon. It's things that we haven't seen before, similar things, but it's very interesting of where all of this is kind of where this kind of story is going.
Destiny's just ramping up for their Stardew Valley Destiny farming sim they're going to release in 2023. That's all. They're expanding the studio. They're building some plants out. They're going to give us some more game types.
I have got the YouTube video linked in the show notes if anybody is interested in going and watching it. I know they do keep it up on the Twitch channel as well, but I found the link on the YouTube, so I'll put that in the show notes.
And now we look to the future, where there are kilts, lots of kilts. Kilts for kids. Do your kids need kilts? Do your kids have kilts? Do your kids know what kilts are?
Kilts are Scottish things. Kilts are Scottish skirts for men.
Just gonna let the one sit out there for a minute because I think it's just beautiful.
Okay.
And apparently, yeah. So let's see. Senior Bungie Foundation manager Christine Edwards has some news for the Kilts for Kids initiative because apparently kids need kilts.
Well, no, this is a fundraiser that they do every year, don't they? And every year you can donate some money towards the Kilts for Kids, and there are various different things that you can get each year. There's definitely an emblem, and it's changed from the last couple of Kilts for Kids emblems. What is it actually for? The charity?
Yeah.
Is it the Ronald McDonald's?
Yes, yeah. This one's for the in this case the Seattle Ronald McDonald House because that's their local Ronald McDonald House charity.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ronald McDonald House programs, are a home away from home that provide comfort, support, and resources to families who travel far from home for medical care that their children need. So, I know, like in the U.S., like St. Jude's is a massive hospital that does, cancer treatments and research around, caring for children. And here locally where I am, in National Institutes of Health, have a similar setup called the Children's Inn, where families are traveling from all over the country and in many cases all over the world, who to get medical care for their children, who is already massively expensive just to get there. A lot of these Ronald McDonald House and things like that provide a place for these families to stay while their kids are receiving this care at wherever it happens to be. In this case, Seattle. Like I said, I'm here near Bethesda, Maryland. I'm sure there's similar things all over the world, but this, I mean, it's. I can't even imagine what it's like going through to travel with your children needing serious medical care, and then having to worry about everything else on top of that. So this just this helps families out by giving them a place to stay, and sort of takes care of at least some of that burden of the day to day of just trying to make it through life while your children are receiving care.
So they'd like to achieve a goal of $77,000. And you can do this by donating $10 or more before Friday, April 23rd at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Every $30 donated will pay for a family, the whole family, to stay in a house for one night. So to get the sweet emblem, you need to donate $50 or more, and you will receive this year's unique Destiny 2 emblem. This emblem is still in development, and its name is to be announced. The unique codes will be sent to all $50 plus donors before May 20th, 2021. $100, the prize above, plus you'll receive a postcard digitally signed by our Kilts for Kids team and mailed to you. $250, all prizes above, plus a digital copy of a new and unique piece of artwork made by Bungie's Mark Fleeg himself. $1,000, all prizes above, plus 1 hour's Destiny 2 gameplay session with the Bungie employees and fellow Kilts for Kids donors. Dates and times will be mutually agreeable and determined upon completion of fundraiser. $2,000, all prizes above, plus the first 3 donors at $2,000 will receive one of 3 hand-painted Destiny vinyl goblin figures themed to past, present, and future. These 3 vinyl figures will be hand-painted by Bungie employees and be shipped to the winners in late spring. Is there anything else that we need to tell them from this? Oh, they'd like to make you aware that if you are playing with the Bungie developers or employees, no secrets will be revealed, and Bungie employees have the right to refuse to answer any questions that aren't appropriate to answer.
So this is not your secret. This is your time to make recommendations and plant things in their heads, but not your time to get secrets out of them.
Yes. So don't ask them if Taniks is coming back again. He obviously is, because he always comes back. There's always another timeline, another Taniks.
Just Taniks is all the way down.
Yeah. I mean, you can put it down to the Avengers. They split the timeline. Things are going to happen. I'd just like to take a moment of silence there. That we're not being interrupted or shouted at. It's quite nice.
I know,
I'm enjoying this.
It's honestly throwing me off my game a little bit. Like, I'm so used to just the constant barrage. I'm a little bit like, you can stop and have a pause. And
but
like
saying that,
next words.
Saying that, it looks like he's back on a computer.
Oh, quick! So we better go through the Iron Curtains, the Iron Futures.
So it's almost time for the final Iron Banner of the season of the Chosen. This week coming up will be your last week to complete the Iron Sharpens Iron Seasonal Challenge. So this is the one where you have to get, I believe it's submachine gun kills and pulse rifle kills and many other kills and capture lots of points. So this is the quest part that you pick up from Saladin. This isn't the bounties. The bounties are separate to get your power up to 1325. And they even acknowledge in the TWAB that, so if you're going for the Grandmaster Nightfalls, don't forget to pick up your 4 pinnacle powerful weekly bounties that Saladin offers. So don't forget there's also the quest as well to get your armor pieces, because it will drop you 1 armor piece per completion part of the quest as well. So they're not high powered. I mean, they're decent drops, and some of them can be god rolled armor and weapons. You sometimes you get a weapon as well, because you need a weapon to complete the next part of the quest. So you will get a weapon from those sets, which is quite nice. And Iron Banner starts on April 13th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I think that's about 6 o'clock in the UK. Is that 1 o'clock Eastern Time? 1 p.m. Eastern?
Starts at reset.
Starts at reset. And then it ends at reset on April 20th.
Yep, yes. Whatever your Tuesday reset is, that's when Iron Banner starts and ends, as always.
Iron banana.
So they say a familiar hand cannon and sniper rifle will be rejoining the fight, but 2 new weapons are also making their debut.
Oh my
So
god!
does
Did
that
you
mean
say
we're
another
gonna
hand
have?
cannon?
No, I mean it's a steady hand. It's the one from Iron Banner, along with
Oh,
the whatever sniper. So are we also going to get the looks like shotgun and machine gun in
No.
this Iron
So
Banner, or is this for later?
this is confusing a lot of people. So they say before we go, they'd like to take a moment to look forward in time. So this is beyond this Iron Banner that's happening next week.
Okay. Oh,
So
right. So
it's
they put that, and they put the big giant picture. Then they say, "Here's guns," which
yes.
they put the picture above the Got
So
it.
Season of Glass is coming in a few short weeks, and Saladin has a few new items up his sleeve for you to earn when the new season begins in May. And taking a look at the weapons that are available, it does look like there's the returning items are the sniper rifle and the hand cannon. And I went and had a look on the Destiny 2 gunsmith to have a look at what they mean by the returning items. So the hand cannon is the finite impactor, which is 140 RPM hand cannon, and
Oh.
it's a arc hand cannon. And originally it could roll with, I think it's snapshot and what's the perk where alloy mags, isn't it? When it empties your faster reload. And then there's a couple of other ones. So there'll
isn't
be
that drop
multiple
mag?
perks. No.
The
Alloy
drop
mag.
mag has.
Alloy mag is when you completely empty your magazine, it reloads really fast. Drop mag is you expend all the ammo that's left in the gun
Right, but
to do
you
a faster reload.
reload like super fast though.
You do, but that's not the perk I'm talking about.
Huh.
So we're getting another 140 RPM hand cannon, and that's arc. That's the finite impactor, and then the sniper rifle also is arc, or it was arc when it came around. I looked at these weapons; they were from season 3, back in beginning of Destiny 2. So the Oculand Finality is the sniper rifle, and this is a high impact. So this is 90 impact, 78 range, and this had it's you don't care what the perks are, basically. It had perks. These perks are probably going to be still available as random perks that are available for it. So it's another high impact sniper, energy. And then the other 2 weapons that they're showing off are a shotgun and a machine gun. And this was quite interesting because the shotgun that was available back in season 3 was the Basilisk, but it doesn't look like the Basilisk. It looks very different. There's a different aesthetic to it. It's got symbols on the side, much like we have with the Izignami Burden sniper. And I don't know if they light up. They haven't kind of given us any clues to that. And the same with the machine gun. But it could be a reworked version of the Basilisk, which again was an arc shotgun, energy one. And the machine gun doesn't look anything like we've had before. Although I did go back and have a look at Destiny 1, we had Yolda's Hammer, the Silver Dread, and the Brutmart Stand, which were the machine guns from the Iron Banner then. Again, they could have just kind of changed it, but I'm guessing it's going to be another Iron Banner machine gun, which is going to be interesting since we don't have that many machine guns and not that many people use them that much these days.
Yeah, just the one true machine gun that everyone uses and loves that they fixed the quest for. Good job, Bungie.
No, I won't tell them. You said hello because I hate
And
you.
then they said as well as looking further out, they are planning new armor for Iron Banner. These sets won't appear for a few seasons. We have heard your desire for some new digs. No, Bungie, just make me more Iron Chef armor. That's all I really want. I just want to be a samurai.
Did you say Iron Chef?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want new armor. We want the Destiny 1 armor that you could get where you could be a wolf if you were a hunter. You remember that cloak respawn?
Ooh,
You want that back, don't you?
That's true.
Yeah. I can't lie.
They were lovely. There was a Destiny 1 Iron Banner set that made the hunters look like wolves. That had a wolf head and it flowed. And I think, weren't there sets that you could get that when you could put ornaments on them that could make your kind of chest piece actually glow with fire?
Yeah, but that was like forever ago, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
But things like
Yeah.
that would be really interesting if they brought those back into Iron Banner. I know it's asking a lot for them to kind of go back and reissue stuff to tweak it into Destiny 2, but please,
fine.
some of that last bit of Iron Banner armor was wonderful, and to have it back in Destiny 2 would be brilliant. You don't need to spend hours designing stuff if it's already in a version of the game that you are slowly porting over.
I was gonna say.
Just
Yeah,
slowly port
so-
that over first. Yeah, so there were armor pieces I think that you got towards the end of Destiny 1 that most of the armors that you could get, I can't remember whether it was part of a quest or not, but you could literally unlock your armor and it would actually have flames on it, and the chest piece would glow with proper fire burning in it. And I'm sure that was the Iron Banner set.
Yeah. Well, that was there
it's
were a
gotta
few other sets that had those ornaments on them, but I think Iron Banner was the first set, if I'm not mistaken, that came out with ornaments, and then ornaments became a thing after that. And somebody's clicking, who's not me.
That's me. I'm just having a look at my Destiny 1 sets. Just
And
on
while we have
Destiny
a
Hype Manager.
load, Golden God 1562 is apparently very sad that I didn't tell you guys that he says hello.
Hello.
And he also says the D1 Iron Banner armor was really bad.
That hunter cloak is just beautiful, and I forgot that was the same set that had the Titan like poof on the top of the head. I sort of have a mohawk, but not really. Not mohawk. That's not the
The
word.
Saint 14 wannabe.
I believe
The-
it was the
the
Iron
budget Saint
Sage
14.
set. Looking back at the my Destiny 1 vault, I believe it was the Iron Sage set, and the Titan helmet looked like a kind of Minotaur helmet with the horns came around the front. Looks really cool. The Hunters, you've got something that looks very similar at the moment, but the Warlock's hood looks pretty cool as well. So yeah, yeah.
That hunter wolf cloak is amazing. We I take it back, Bungie. We need more wolf armor. Less
See?
samurai, more wolf. Well, it's just to be for the hunters anyway. The Titans will get something stupid looking because that is the way of our people. We will have the
is the way of
dumbest
the thing.
looking armor without fail.
That's not true. You guys had some pretty good looking samurai armor. And your
Okay.
dino armor is the only armor that actually looks good.
That doesn't exist yet. We'll have to see how it actually looks in the game. Just no theoretical good looking armor, only real good looking armor.
See.
Jeez, just looking back at my old Destiny 1 stuff. My word.
DIY Saint 14. He's saying it was the Rise of Iron armor that had the flame.
You only
Chat is
had.
helping.
There you go. Then that's really helpful. The Rise of Iron stuff. You only had 108 slots for armor, 108 slots for weapons, and 72 for random bits. I think. I've got
And that
so
was
much.
Wait, did we
after-
have armor and weapons separated back then? Oh my
And that-
god,
and
I don't
that
even
was-
remember that.
Yeah, and that was after they dropped the PS3 and Xbox 360 support to increase your vault size. So it used to be worse than that.
I've
Those
got
were
two
those were
packs of
the
Ascendant
days we don't talk
raisins
about.
and one piece of celery.
And
Sorry,
now
what?
finally,
The yeah, okay, that's
And I've
so
got
if you
21
take that,
rotten candy.
yeah, so if you take that celery, you can put it on your gun today. See, they were just teasing the celery way back then.
Yeah.
As a trials perk. See,
Reminiscing about the Iron Banners. The Iron Banners of old need to come back.
They do.
like I've said this before, and I still believe it to this day. They had D1 pretty much perfect before D2 came out, and then D2 came out, and they're revamping all this stuff, and it creates nostalgia for the stuff that they had right and then abandoned it. And don't get me wrong, I like the larger vault space that we have now, but even the vault space we have now, we didn't have all of this, right? At some point in time in D2, they increased our vault space, didn't they? We didn't always have 500. We started off with like 350 or 400 initially, didn't we?
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
it has been increased. But
Yeah.
I was saying to Peroty earlier, before you were here, that I played on my old OG day one Xbox One and the difference between the game that playing on the Series X to the OG Xbox is night and day. So I think they're going to drop that kind of generation a lot sooner than we think. I think the only problem is at the
Well,
moment
they can't. They might want to,
Yeah.
but they can't because there's
No, but
people
that's
out
what
there
I'm saying.
that
The
can't
only
afford the new stuff or even get a hold of the new stuff.
you can't get a hold of the new stuff.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I think if there was a way for them to kind of drop original OG Xbox and only support not Series X, Series
The
Series
1X
X,
and 1S, the 1X 1S series.
those
drop
ones.
them. Yeah, like drop the OG and drop the middle one before that, the S before the X. And whatever.
If there's a way for them to do that, I could see that happening. And the same with the PlayStation. Is there a PlayStation Pro 4? I think.
Who knows? But yeah, even if they don't drop it, just say, yeah, technically it may run on this, but you're not going to enjoy the experience. So even if they're not dropping it like formally, they're dropping it in every way, but saying we dropped it.
Hold on. You play on OG Xbox One, and no, he's talking about like you're talking 360, right?
No, I'm talking OG Xbox Day One,
like Xbox One,
2013 Xbox One.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like the one I still have downstairs with 2 replaced hard drives in it.
I don't have one, so I can't speak to this. But Galaxy Gamer is saying he plays on OG Xbox currently, and it plays faster now than it did before. So
it does.
It does. These are the optimizations that they made.
Absolutely.
To this new engine.
Oh no, it's absolutely better. It's a way better experience, especially if you play it on an SSD. But yeah, it's still not the same as getting on the 1X. It's better, but it's not good.
And it is night and day playing on the Series X to the original Xbox One. It's a lot harder. I mean, I now sympathise with you, Respawn, when you say to me, I can't just jump back onto console from PC because it's so much of a.
It's jarring. It's actually jarring.
It was.
Yeah. You have to get used to half your screen real estate. You have to get used to different handling of the controls. Like ever a guy that would play on 10 sensitivity on a console, but after playing for PC for so long, now my controller settings on console have to be 10 just so it doesn't hurt. It's very jarring. It takes you out of your comfort zone in a way that's very uncomfortable. I know that was redundant. Shut up.
So the never-ending search for balance. We've now come to the part in the TWAB where we're discussing what's going to be happening in Season of Glass. We have a few changes that will be coming to the Destiny sandbox next season. So for anybody that's in your chat, Respawn, we're calling Season of Redacted Season of Glass because Paul Tassi has dubbed it that.
Season of Glass.
Yes, we don't know it's Season of Glass.
It's Vault of Glass. It's season of the armor. Because that's when we get our transmog and everything. That's all I give a damn about. Oh, okay. Yeah. I do care about the new raid, but armor transmog is
could be Season of Ikora Ray for all you know.
Yeah.
Ooh, dude. What if it is? What if she's a major part?
So this week in the TWAB, they want to be focusing on things that are hot, so to speak. Weapons and archetypes that need to be tuned in order to create breathing room for other aspects of the Destiny sandbox to shine. We're also planning quite a few buffs, so that'll make Respawn happy, to the underused perks, linear fusion rifles, and more. The current plan is to cover perks and weapon buffs in an upcoming TWAB towards the end of April, once they're solidified. But we want to get this information out as early as possible so you can rage on about that and then get on with your lives.
Does he say rage?
No, I do.
Absolutely, for big.
I mean, does he actually listen to the show? Oh my god! Oh my god!
So without further ado, Weapons feature lead Chris Proctor is here once again to lay out their goals with these upcoming changes and give you the nitty-gritty details. And as we've said it's not so much nitty gritty details. There are details, just not so nitty gritty.
The vague overview with a spattering
Yes.
of details. So should we go through the changes first and then let Respawn scream about them?
Yes.
So at least we can get through them in one go.
Yes.
So your aggressive 120 RPM hand cannons are very dominant in PvP, and they've received a lot of feedback that they're too dominant. So they're not going to completely take away the range, but they're going to nerf the range a little bit. So the weapons will now have a damage and aim assist fall off damage. Let's try to word that again.
Yeah.
These weapons will now have damage and aim assist fall off distance reduced by 2 and 4 meters. So I assume that's 2 meters for aim assist and 4 meters for the fall off distance damage.
Okay, so they're taking them from sniper rifle ranges to scout rifle. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So this roughly halves the range buff they received in Beyond Light. So we buffed them, and then we decided we buffed them too much, so we're now going to bring them back in again.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
On the Vortex frame swords with Falling Guillotine now viable forever and not being sunset, we need to adjust it just a little bit, as its damage output is flat out higher than all the other legendary swords. So with this change, we'll allow it to keep its high damage output but reducing the full reserve's damage output by reducing the number of heavy attacks you'll be able to perform. So all that is to say, the full energy heavy attack cost goes up from 4 to 6. So
yeah,
it costs more to use your heavy attack.
So that's the one where you spin around in a big circle.
Yup. The Beyblade of Death. Damn it.
Yep.
Fair enough.
And then they're also doing some stuff to chip damage, which is, chip damage is little bing, 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 little bits of damage you get after the initial impact. So certain weapons, swords, and bastion bypass shields by varying amounts, which has caused numerous issues with these stasis encased enemies, encounter mechanics, and other content. So they've removed the chip damage. And actually, I was wrong. They've removed the chip damage from swords and bastion. So that's the bypassing shields part of it.
Okay.
Is the chip damage. So it looks like they've removed that from the swords and bastions. So can't bypass the shields, I'm assuming, unless you're using the lament, or they've completely broken the lament. Does anyone even use the lament? And are we lamenting its downfall?
Yeah,
They
lament
get
is
onto
still
the
a very
lament
big
further
part
down.
of stuff, or at least it
Marvelous.
was.
We lament further down.
Yeah, we lament the nerfing of lament.
Very good, very good. So our quick draw perk, it's intended to provide a faster swap speed, but also passively buffs handling by 100. Yes, 100.
Permanently.
This completely negates the downside of using low handling weapons, such as aggressive shotguns, sniper rifles, and hand cannons, which isn't something they want to encourage. Those weapons should have downsides, and working around those completely via a perk is not healthy. So we don't think allowing a fast swap to the shotgun subfamily with the highest one-hit kill range is great either. So the handling bonus is now removed 1 second after switching to this weapon or upon aiming down sights, and they've replaced the quick draw with surplus on new and existing drops of Fellwinter's Lie and Astral Horizon.
So for anybody that doesn't know, the surplus perk increases your handling, reload speed, and stability for each charged ability. So that would have been more details, Bungie. More details, because some people don't know these things off the top of their head.
Right.
Not even me.
And it's worth saying again, new and existing drops. So the weapon you have in your vault or your inventory, your character right now, is going to get hit with this change.
Yep. And some of them, for 2 shotguns in particular, they're removing the quick draw entirely and replacing.
Yes, that's what they said. They're replacing quick draw with surplus on new and existing drops of Fellwinter's Light and Astral Horizon. And I believe the reason why they're doing that on the Astral Horizon is because where they've changed from season to season, and the Astral Horizons, as you saw, I think, in a couple of videos that have been on YouTube, is you could have got one back, I think, when the Astral Horizons were first dropping a year ago, that had the quick draw on it. But then as they moved into another season, they took that perk from the pool and didn't put it back into it. So people that then got Astral Horizons the next season over weren't able to get the quick draw, and they were complaining that it was only available for that one season. If they didn't get it in that season, they couldn't get a quick draw Astral Horizon.
Well, Bungie's like, fine, now nobody gets
Yeah.
Away from everyone. Yeah,
But no,
and-
they've acknowledged. I think that's one of the reasons why these weapons have been such outliers in PvP. Anyway, is that the ease of use of quickly drawing this weapon out and using it.
Mhm.
It
Right.
negates some of the the
Yeah.
downsides, as they say.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole point of these two shotguns in particular, right? For those that don't know, I'm pretty sure all of you do, but for those that don't know, the reason that these two shotguns are used primarily is their kill rate, right? Everybody knows that these two guns have kill range that shouldn't be used shotgun, right? Outside of like the exotic one that we shouldn't be naming because it's evil. Okay. Shut up! Don't say that. But you reminded me of Mufasa. Ooh, say it again. Chaperone. Oh. Anyway, so point I was making is it kills at ridiculous ranges, yes, but the idea is to run around with like your primary or something like that, right? And then as soon as you see somebody coming around a corner, or as soon as you're about to be in a CQC scenario, meaning close quarters combat, they literally just swap out their shotgun in a lightning flash and kill you before you even realize what's happened. Like like I've seen some feeds, not mine, right, but some people that don't have the strongest connection. In their hands, I still see their primary, but it shows that person has killed me with a shotgun, and I'm like, huh? And it's because they can just swap so damn fast and kill you. It's ridiculous. So this is supposed to mitigate that kind of functionality, so they can't just swap over lightning fast. You have the shotgun out already, or you just suffer with the fact that you can't pull it out that fast, or whatever, right? Or you might lose an encounter because you can't pull it out that fast. So this is what that is primarily addressing is that type of use of the shotgun. It just makes it too good to use, too fast to swap to. I mean, it's just it is a little insane.
I think the thing is, you can still, what you've got to remember, on the Fellwinter's Lie, there are still perks that you can select. So you still have the ability to select Slide Shot on this weapon, which sliding partially reloads the magazine and temporarily boosts range and stability. So you're still going to see a lot of sliding shotgunners use this weapon. And
absolutely.
With opening shot and the slide shot, people are going to be sliding around corners still using this weapon. It's not going to take it away. So
yeah, but other shotguns and whatnot also have that perk. So the fact that this one had both perks is what made it widely used, right? For both of those kinds of people that like to quick swap and or slide shoot, right?
yeah.
So now by doing this, they're gonna open the avenue for other shotguns that can like do a slide shot a little better or whatever, right? It's not just gonna be Fellwinters anymore. It's lost that versatility.
I mean, Slide Shot lasts for 1.25 seconds and has a cooldown of 2.5 seconds. Only buffs the first shot, refreshes at 15% of the magazine, and grants 20% range and 50 to stability. So it's still good perk, and you can get it on the Astral Horizon as well. So this is something that you can still get on the Astral Horizon. You can still get a very similar role. You can get an opening shot, slide shot on the Astral Horizon. You can get auto-loading holster, which is still quite a good perk. You can get the surplus perk as well. And also, I was listening to Massive Breakdowns this week, and they were saying that Pulse Monitor gives quick draw when your shield is broken, and it's an automatic thing. And Pulse Monitor is available on an Astral Horizon. So when active, this adds 45 to handling and grants a 5% faster swap speed. Fully refreshes weapon when held or stowed. So if you're getting damage and then you swap to your Astral Horizon, the Pulse Monitor also kicks in if you're not actually holding that weapon. So that is another top tier perk to look out for. So if you've got an Astral Horizon with that on it, that would be worth looking out for.
Can you get the Fellwinter's Lie currently?
Yes, you get it from the kiosk.
Okay, yep. I thought they put in the kiosk. I couldn't remember. Yeah, so that's in the kiosk, and the Astral Horizon's the Trials shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I couldn't remember if Fellwinter's was actually obtainable at this point, or if it was in that weird we took it out and haven't put it in the kiosk yet phase.
No, it's put back in the kiosk. And I mean, this makes like handling mods or handling masterwork be a lot more worth it on these weapons. So if you get one with a handling to drop on the Astral Horizon with the Pulse Monitor, it's still going to be a really fast weapon to draw out and still one hit kill. So you could get pulse monitor, you could get opening shot with a handling masterwork and negate the fact that these weapons have had this kind of technically nerf.
But there's other things that I was trying to talk about earlier before you told me to shut up and get home, right?
Yeah.
Is this is thanks to Fallout Plays, so I didn't come up with this on my own. I'm absolutely stealing this from him. Is the warlocks and the hunters have something that is not even going to affect them when it comes to the Felwinter's nerf. So the warlocks have Ophidian Spaith and not Ophidian Spaith, Ophidian Aspect. Sorry,
which are exotic warlock gauntlets.
Right, and then you pair those with a shotgun mod for the helmet, the handling shotgun handling for the helmet, right? And that gives you almost the exact same reaction that Quick Draw does, right?
Yeah.
So for warlocks, no change as long as you have both of those things. Now, you do have to use a helmet mod, and you do have to use an exotic slot to get the Felwinters that same functionality. But point is, you have it, right? And for the hunters, it's actually even easier. Not only just easier for us, but better for us in this particular instance, because we have something called Dragon.
Can you
Shadow.
say that again? There's something better for the hunters and this doesn't affect Titans, so hunters actually get something over the Titans. I just want you to make this clear to people.
We've always had
normally you tell us
just nobody uses it.
You get.
But if you really love the Felwinters and Quick Draw really hurt you, right? The Quick Draw nerf really hurts you. You just put on something called the Dragon Shadow, and you're like, wait, isn't that a dodge exotic? Yes, it is. But in addition to just giving you that extra dodge, it also increases the handling, draw speed, and something else for your weapons, right? And in a side-by-side comparison, the Dragon Shadow actually readies and ADSs the Felwinters faster than the Quick Draw. So you could be like, yeah, I may have lost Quick Draw, but I still have Dragon Shadow, and it's gonna ADS and ready that Felwinters faster than even the Quick Draw did. So for hunters, yay! If you care about that kind of thing, and Titans, as far as I'm aware, I didn't watch the entire video. I got to the part where he said Titans don't have anything, but he said Titans don't have anything, but I didn't hear the but. So if you want to hear what the but is, then I recommend watching, Fallout Plays video regarding this. It came out yesterday.
Yeah.
So
15 minutes was just too much of an investment of time to make, huh?
Well, no, the podcast started, and that's when I joined you guys to talk you guys.
Forgive me for assuming you had done prep work for the show.
No,
I deeply
no,
apologize.
I'm sorry. We're like 116 episodes in, and he's actually done a bit of research. Maybe by 232, he'll have actually watched a whole video.
I watch whole videos quite often, sir.
But nothing useful for people to listen to.
First of all, you never said they had to be useful videos. That was never a prerequisite for useful videos is not something that you specified. Right? You want me to watch something useful, then say, hey, something useful. Otherwise, I watch Night Blue 3, I watch Fallout Plays, whatever.
Yeah,
Fallout's useful.
Also, another shotgun that's going to kind of passively get a buff to it is the exotic shotgun, the Duality, because that thing's handling is like 82 with a range of 96, impact of 80.
Is it 96 range when sighted in or hip fire?
I believe that is with the catalyst. You get a plus 18 to range and 2 to the magazine. So this is a shotgun, but there was a quest for it, wasn't there? And it may be in the kiosk. And if it is, I think once you pick it up from the kiosk, you're then able to go and get a kill and then get a...
I'll check on it after this match.
Pick up the catalyst from Banshee at the tower. But that is going to be one other weapon that passively gets a buff from it.
How is it getting a buff? What is Bungie doing to give it a buff, Demon?
Because it's already got, the short action stock, which gives it plus 14 in handling.
Sure.
And it's very similar to the other one that we're not allowed to mention, the
It's similar, but it still doesn't. It doesn't come close to the range. Chaperone can kill upwards of 19
But-
meters with its perk active. Chaperone, or the duality goes up to I think 14 and a half, maybe 15. So it's not chaperone levels, but it's definitely Fellwinter level.
Yeah, but when you think that the handling on the Fellwinter's Lie is 33, and its base without with quick draw, but then you've got quick draw which adds stupid amounts. Where that's now being
100.
taken back, where that's now being taken back, something like the duality that's got a base of 82 is going to be something that people might gravitate towards. And I've seen a lot of this in Crucible recently with the duality coming up.
So you're saying they're going to take things off a gun, but there's still perfectly viable ways to use the gun in the world.
Yeah, it's
You just have to work around it. It's just not going to be.
Well, it's
given
not
in
work
order
around
to
it. It's
play.
actually work it into your builds, isn't it? It's more theory crafting of if I want this gun to do this or I want to be good at these type of weapons, then
You
I'm
gotta
going to need to
specialize
spec
something else.
into these things, which
Yeah.
is what we kind of expect from Destiny. Is that if you want to be good at sniping, you would spec into sniper stuff. If you want to be good with hand cannons, shotguns, then you would make a build that would kind of center around that. And then you'd have a secondary weapon if you had enough mod slots to kind of help you with other weapons, or you put on an exotic that negates that. So there are things, I think I see where Bungie are going with this, and I'm all for it. I'm not a Fellwinter's user. I mean, I've used it a couple of times. It's a good weapon, and I think from what we've been told, that hopefully this will tone down some of the players that won't want to try and raise their game or get better skilled at using it, because I think it's going to be one of those weapons, or the same with the Astral Horizon. If you haven't got the right perks on it and you've got the base set that you've got at the moment, they're not going to. A lot of people won't want to kind of take the time to learn how to use their weapon going forward in next season, and they'll gravitate towards something else.
Yeah, it's less of an easy button. Throw it on, and you get massive kills from 15 meters away.
I mean,
You
the
have to
only
at least try a little
Sorry.
bit.
the only problem with this perk being changed,
A
the quick
little
draw,
bit being the key word there. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
the only problem with this perk being changed, it's going to have an indirect knock-on effect with snipers and hand cannons. So 120s are going to feel this, as well as the snipers. You're going to look for either a quick draw snapshot sniper, because you won't be able to get just a quick draw that's got the snapshot built into it. So you're going to have to maybe drop one of the other perks like quick draw and opening shot. You'll want to get a quick draw snapshot sight to get the same kind of feel that you've got at the moment.
So you say there's more changes, like
Well, no.
Frenzy,
Yes, yeah.
where
Frenzy.
so Frenzy, basically they're going to reduce the bonus damage 5%. Their bonus damage was plus 20, now it's plus 15. It goes down 5%. And Frenzy is the perk. It has an extremely high uptime in PvE, to the point that it's clearly a better choice than most other perks, Bungie says. We like the high uptime, want to preserve that, but we want to award less damage than the harder to activate damage perks. So again, it's really easy to activate in PvE. You run around, you shoot lots of things. They want to make it just a little less overpowered in PvE. I don't know why, because murdering is fun, but here we are.
I mean, going back to I think it was Zero did a video, didn't he, going back over the perks, the lasting impressions and Frenzy, and he said that Frenzy worked out slightly better in PvE activities, whereas lasting impressions, which is when you have a rocket, it attaches, and it attaches on impact and detonates after the delay, but it increases the blast radius and damage. And he said it was slightly less than Frenzy, so maybe this makes that perk a little bit more kind of what's the word? Viable. That's the word, yeah. Makes that perk a little bit more viable.
And
I mean, I
Frenzy,
guess.
Is the perk where I know it's like you run around and
you take
you
damage.
have to remain in combat for
Yeah.
X amount of time, and then it procs. Combat means either you taking damage or you dealing damage. You just have to remain in combat.
yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, remain in combat for 12 seconds, and then you get the buff to the damage. And you can just continue to proc it over and over and over again forever while you, quote, remain in combat, aka dealing or taking damage. So yeah. So run around, shoot things, get shot by things. You do a little less bonus damage, but doesn't seem like a massive change. But here we are.
I mean, I didn't really use them to begin with. A lot of people live and die by that thing, but I'm just like, meh. I mean, it takes too long, in my opinion, to activate than something like Rampage does, right? Or freaking Swashbuckler, or a lot of other freaking perks that give you extra damage in combat. You know, their damage buffs might not be as high, but they're more consistent, I would say, right?
It doesn't take 12 seconds to get going, and then you really have to maintain the in combat status, and there's not a ton of places you can do that for a sustained amount of time and enjoy that full perk.
And people are like, oh, well, it's easy to do that in PvE, but it's like, really? Because, you know, especially if you come into a place and you're killing mobs, maybe like a Grandmaster Nightfall where you're constantly under fire, but most of the PvE activities, you kill groups of ads and then you're in a lull, right?
Right.
Not a lull, a lull. So then you got to wait another 12 seconds. 12 seconds in combat's a long time. Most of the enemies are probably going to be dead by the time that procs, is my complaint. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. Sorry. Go ahead, Peroty.
And now we've got Reservoir Burst, which is going to increase our magazine size in addition to its other effects. They reduce the full battery bonus damage from 33% to 25%. So it goes from a third to a quarter. And upcoming content requires revisiting the power level of a damage perk that can be activated simply by having a full magazine. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. Which is literally what they say in the 12. So something upcoming is going to necessitate the nerf of this for Reservoir Burst.
Maybe a raid?
Could be. It's like we said, many seasons ago.
Reservoir Burst only exists on one weapon, though. So does that mean they're going to give us another weapon? Got it on there?
Does it only exist on one weapon?
Yeah, it's the fusion rifle that we got a few seasons back for the pinnacle weapon that season.
Loaded questions?
Yeah. Pretty sure that's the only thing it comes on.
Yeah, it's on Loaded Questions, which is now sunset.
Yeah. So you're nerfing a weapon that's been sunset for an upcoming raid that requires light level to be high. Tells me there's another weapon coming out with Reservoir Burst, I guess. That's going to need a nerf before it's even out.
Well, it's in the loot pool somewhere. I mean, something can roll on it because I wouldn't be taking it out if it weren't.
I'm telling you, that's the only thing that comes out, dude. Look it up.
Yeah, I can't find it on any of the weapons I've got at the moment.
No, just go to light.gg, look at Reservoir Burst, and it'll tell you what weapons it comes on.
I don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, it must be on something in the next season because Reservoir Burst is the only thing light.gg mentions.
Oh, see, he did it. I was about to. Yep.
No, you weren't. Don't lie. Yeah, okay,
I did. I literally just opened the browser. Everybody in the chat can vouch for me. They won't, but they could.
They could.
They can't. All right, so now we get to our exotics. Scourge of the Crucible, that those three people that are really good with. Bastion. Since we're removing the chip damage, Bastion gets something else instead. We've noticed increased feedback on Bastion and higher than normal usage in PvP, so we're making a small change here, and they'll revisit the Bastion later once they've made the small change and see how it plays out. So they're going to allow to intrinsically stagger unstoppable champions, which seems like a thing I should have done all along, and increase the spread angle by 13%. So I'll let someone with lots of math to figure out exactly what that means for you, because
basically
it means a wider spread. It's harder to hit people with the bolts
at a longer range, because at the moment you can map somebody with that thing.
Yeah, you can.
Well, you only need to hit them with like what two of the bursts, one or two of the bursts, and that's it. Yeah, for PvP you just need one or two of those bolts.
It's making it harder for people to kill you at a longer range. They'll still be able to, if you're close to that person, you are still going to be dead. So
I would hope so. It's a fusion rifle.
You can't still make the mistake, but you're not going to be able to kind of map people with it, which is a good change, because I haven't honestly seen a lot of it, only because I've watched a lot of videos with people using it, like Destiny Fun Police, saying how good it is. and it's one of those guns that's underrated in PvP at the moment. So for them to say that there's been a high uptake of it in PvP is not that I've seen at my lower end of skill.
Trials. They mean trials.
Probably.
It was Trials and Iron Banner, and I saw it a lot in Iron Banner. Y'all didn't?
Yeah, I saw a lot on Iron Banner, but again, it's always like that one guy, and you can tell that's the thing he or she mains. Because it's not like you'll see a lot of it, but it's like if you're using it, you're really good with it. Most people look at it and go, "Why would I even touch this?" But those people who are getting that usage are using it a lot, and maybe there's more. I'm sure there's probably more on PC with the bigger, more ability mouse and keyboard to get that aim better on. But Iron Banner was absolutely. I think didn't see it in trials, but of course we didn't see much in trials because we were dead most of the time.
I saw like 2 or 3 teams using it, but it wasn't that widespread in trials. But Iron Banner, that thing was all over the map, dude.
Yeah. They do want to make sure that you're all aware, so just listen up on this one.
I'm aware.
With all balance changes, they will continue to watch how they play once they're in the wild, and they'll look to making further adjustments based on our observations and player feedback. So if you complain a lot, they will still adjust them. There will still be more nerfs.
So what I'm hearing is all the
don't
Titans
just take
bitching
this
about
as
hunters,
gospel.
and their Dragon Shadow. What I'm hearing is Dragon Shadow is about to get a nerf. That's what I'm getting from this.
Not yet. No, because that's an exotic, and that's an exotic perk that you're using to help you with your build.
Oh, hold on. You mean they won't nerf an exotic perk?
No.
Really? Pretty sure there's an auto rifle out there that had its lore changed because they nerfed its perk, but I'm just saying.
So I'm going to go back because we skipped right over, and I skipped over it with the intention of going back to the thing we didn't lament earlier, that we now need to lament here for a second.
Yeah.
This weapon is a clear outlier for sword damage, so for the health of a heavy weapon diversity, we're pulling it back a bit. They've reduced the damage of the revved heavy attack by approximately 16%. Maybe it's 16, maybe it's closer to 15. It's about 16%. Numbers are hard.
Well, no, Bungie's got a lot of rounding in their math. That's why it's an approximation.
Right.
Yeah.
And they would like to mention that it does retain the standard anti-barrier despite removing of chip damage. And that's a Lament exotic sword if you had somehow missed that.
Mm-hmm. So going back quickly to the aggressive 120 RPM hand cannons that are having their range and aim assist fall off distance reduced by between 2 and 4 meters based on the range stat. I was going to say, this makes the messenger pulse rifle and rapid fire pulse rifles have an indirect buff with this nerf because of the ranges that these can compete in compared to the 120s. I mean, the fast firing ones, because you can burn somebody down quite quickly with those, and with them having the damage and the aim assist affected on those hand cannons, people will still be able to use these hand cannons. Don't think that this is a complete nerf on these things, but it will make your rapid fire pulse rifles like the Time Worn Spire and the messenger pulse rifle a lot better now, especially if you've got one of the messengers with the rapid hit and the Desperado perk, or Outlaw and Desperado. When you've got a kill and then that kind of revs up, you should hopefully be able to shred with those. So that's a definite welcome change, because trying to compete with those 120s, and we said it a couple of weeks ago when the Igneous Hammer was all over the Crucible, and that was only because it was available for that that week, that everybody was using it. But it just showed you how dominant the 120 hand cannons are with stupid ranges. And I mean, I'm quite happy because I was using the 120 hand cannons or the 110 hand cannons before they got their buff in Beyond Light, and I was extremely happy that they got a buff in Beyond Light, because it just made my gun even better than what it was. And it's still going to be good because I've got, I think it's opening shot and time payload. So the time payload negates that damage, negates the range decrease, because it hits the person and then it gives you the extra damage over time. And the same with if you had, I think it's I can't remember it's explosive time payload and explosive payloads I can't remember which ones they are. There's one that kind of gives you the damage in the area, isn't there? Let me just double check on this one because I have got
Timed payload does an explosive on the person to stagger them a lot. Explosive payload is when you directly no, that's
no, time payload
the
is the
thing.
projectile attaches to the enemy and explodes after a short delay.
Yeah.
So those ones are still going to be pretty cool. And then the other one that you can get with it is, let me just check, is you can also get explosive payload. So the projectile creates an area of an effect destination on impact. So those ones will still have the same effects. So you can still use them at those longer ranges, although the initial hit damage is going to be nerfed with the range. But if you still make the connection with them, you'll still get that same amount of damage that you get on the explosive payload and the timed payload that you do, because they're not actually getting nerfed as perks as yet anyway. So my true prophecy is still going to be the hand cannon that I love to use with my Le Monarch Hunter build. And also celerity. We were talking last week, how it's got a change coming in the works. That also now makes it a viable option and buffs certain weapons, i.e. the Astral Horizon, the Trial Shotgun. Because if you have that on it, it automatically gives you the 20% of handling. I believe that's what it was intrinsic, wasn't it? Without having to kind of turn the perk on and off. Was that right?
Something like that.
I had no idea. I don't even know. I didn't know it gave you. I thought it was only when a teammate dies, then you get a thing. I didn't know it gave you.
Yeah, at the moment that is, but we know we discussed it last week that they're changing the perk, because you were all angry if you'd gone to the lighthouse. You remember this? You've gone to the lighthouse, you got that weapon with that perk, and now you'd have to go back and get it again, because if you've already got that perk, they're changing the perk, but you're not being able to use.
Well, I was angry at Bungie for not fixing it properly and just telling people to go get it again. That was my aim. Bungie, you messed up. Fix it yourself. Don't tell us.
So celerity will now permanently. It will now grant a permanently active +20 to both reload and handling.
So it makes it a viable perk on that weapon, which is good. Yeah. So you can now see the reasons why they've made certain things. I wish they come out all in one go and said this, and maybe tie it together and say, look, this quick draw perk is being nerfed, but with the buff to celerity, if you have it on this weapon, then this will give you this. Things like that would help kind of stop some of the
raging rants.
Yeah. Stop the respawn from ranting.
Well, man, that's
what you're talking about. I don't rant.
The thing is,
all these things, it's like it's all they say it's trying to find some balance. They're going to bring things up and other things down. I'm sure they've got their spreadsheets and algorithms and whatever running to go. Okay, if we boost this here and boost this here, pull that back there, this will bring this up. This will bring this a little more in line. These are the outliers. It'll probably be a thing. And
yeah, but what I'm saying is, if they'd have told us this last week, if they'd have said, right, celerity is going to be doing this going forward, and quick draw is going to be doing this going forward, and give a little explanation of, well, this will help this and this will help that, and they did that last week, that would have been fine, because I think a lot of people would have gone, right, that is the full story. Whereas now we're kind of having to piece last week's with this week's, and they're not saying it in.
Who says that existed last week? Maybe they saw the negative feedback and they're all like, "Oh crap, we got to do something about it." Oh no, guys, we've also forgot to mention this
games
thing
are hard,
right
and they can't suddenly just change something that quickly.
Nudge. Come on, give me a thing to give them. Give me a thing to give them. Yeah, no, guys, it's also going to include. Come on, give me something.
Yeah, no, this was not a change they just made on the spur of the moment.
So Peroty,
a change they made on the spur of the moment.
You're going to have to suit up, my friend,
right?
And give us some player support report.
I'm totally ready to suit up. I just hope I have the right suit on. Which
is it? A penguin?
This is one of these, like, I feel like I've played Destiny long enough. They said do a thing, and I knew deep in my soul what thing they wanted me to do. But apparently not everybody knew the same thing. So the Suited for Combat seasonal challenge, it said you need to wear a full armor set. But we didn't clarify.
Oh, that one.
Full armor set. Prefectus seasonal armor set. Only the Prefectus seasonal armor set will grant progress toward this challenge. Again, this is where being the Destiny OG. Bungie
Whoops.
gives you a new thing. Bungie gives you a new thing for the season. They say, hey, we're going to give you a new seasonal set. Let me tell you this now. Always keep a set of the current seasonal armor in your inventory vault somewhere. Always keep it, because at some point, Bungie may say, hey, do a thing with the season. It could be a seasonal challenge. It could be part of the quest on the moon. It could be any number of things. Always keep a full set of that armor
Detrick.
at some point. At the end of the season, you can delete it, but in the current season,
Don't pick on
collect and
Detrick.
keep. No, we do pick on Detrick, and I told him this morning when we were playing Gambit, I said, I thought of you, buddy. I thought of you. Back on the moon, deleting the piece of the armor set he needed to complete the I think at that point it was just the campaign. It was like, go do this in a full set of the armor, and it's like I deleted part of it out, the full set. And Destiny being Destiny, it will not give you. If you delete the helmet, you will never see another helmet. If you delete the legs, you will never see those boots ever again.
Ooh.
So keep the full set of the armor.
Did he already get every piece from the season pass though? Season pass gives you the full set like 3 times.
I believe that he deleted stuff. There was
Oh.
deleting. There was too much deleting that went on, and it had gone on too long before he realised that he needed them.
For
So
future
don't make a
reference,
deck
guys,
trick.
just do what I do, right? Leave it there. Do not pull it out. Pull out one set at the end when you're trying to level up. Leave at least one set the hell alone inside there. You don't want to take up inventory space? Just leave it on your season pass, dude. That's
But
all
if,
you gotta do.
if you don't have a season pass, at some point, just grab it when you do get it and stick it in your vault, because it looks like going forward with these seasonal challenges, week 8 or 9, 10 or 11 or 12, 15, there'll be one that says, wear a full set of this year's armor and go and do a thing.
I can
And-
also practically guarantee you the next time they bring this out, they will make the same textual
Yes.
vagueness, and it will say, go wear a full set. And we'll be doing this all over again in another couple of months. People say, I didn't have the full. Like, you didn't learn your lesson last time. Learn your lesson this time.
And I believe it is 400 kills with the full set.
Which is about, takes no time at all if
It
you
doesn't
do
take
the...
no time.
If you
Going
do,
back to what Demon said, it would have been nice to know this in the
Yes,
beginning
sir.
of the season, right?
400 kills, do a couple of murder grounds. It takes about 2 or 3 murder grounds and you get your full set done. It does
Yeah.
not take long.
No, we're not talking about the murdering. We're talking about the armor. Tell us at the beginning of the season this is going to be used for a challenge later in the season. Although thus far, that's been the case every season. So by now, if you don't know to leave at least one set of armor after how many seasons will you've needed the full set of armor to do a thing, that's
Or-
kind of on you, dude.
No, if you're new to Destiny and you don't know how this works, this is how it works. You'll get half the information.
Got it. You catering
Later on
to
in
the
the
nubbies?
season.
No, we don't cater to the nubbies.
Well, we're catering to everyone who wants to listen to the show and help us grow
Nope,
and enjoy us.
nope. We don't listen. We don't. Nubbies, you can listen and learn, but we don't cater to you. All right? No. Nope. Nope.
We don't cater to streamers either.
We don't
So
cater to
there's-
what? Strangers?
There's some activity. There's some inactivity in the Grandmaster Nightfalls. Since the Grandmaster Nightfalls were introduced, we know some players who can't be revived, who will eventually get kicked out of the activity due to inactivity. To mitigate this issue in future Grandmaster Nightfalls, players should open their character or director screen and go through their menus to avoid being removed from the activity. So basically, when you're dead and can't be revived, do something.
Play with your
So-
inventory?
yeah, play with your inventory, look at your shaders, something so you don't get kicked for inactivity.
Mm.
Because that would be sad, and then everyone is
Again,
sad.
because Bungie can't be bothered to fix it.
Well, it's not really a fix. It's the game working as intended. If you sit inactive in an activity for long enough, it kicks you to orbit.
Well, it's not intended for you to be in an activity waiting to be revived and then get kicked.
Well, the same thing would happen in a raid if you lasted long enough and your raid team didn't wipe. It's there in the game. It's it's not worth
You're
fixing.
just kind of proving my point. It's not
No,
as
but-
intended.
Right, but it's also in edge case not worth fixing.
Actually, no, because in the raid you can't go longer than 2 minutes. So I'm pretty sure that the inactivity is longer than 2 minutes, isn't it? Because in a raid, if you wait longer than 2 minutes, everybody wipes. So
Yeah, that's what I just said.
hmm,
But also,
okay.
you should dismantle your shaders. Dismantle all your shaders. You don't need your shaders anymore because we're going to be able to have them as not things we have to collect, and you can apply them to your entire character all at once, starting May 11th in season 14.
Yay!
So delete each and every one of your shaders. Look at them longingly, lovingly, or disdainfully. Go delete them all. And go visit your buddy Rahul to delete them a little bit quicker, because it's going to take a long time to delete them one by one.
And you do get some good stuff. You get some glimmer and legendary shards, which can then be used to purchase other useful items in the game. Or useless
And
items
What do
in
you
the game.
use glimmer?
Whichever. The bounties to get more
Bounties,
bright dust.
That's
Everything.
not useful though.
Yeah,
Do you not play the game?
No, it's not.
Bruh?
Nope. No, bruh.
Sounds like you're a noob we shouldn't be catering to, so I'm not going to cater to you.
Uh,
I will mention that Bungie does link back to the getting reacquainted with that, because our buddy 801's
Adeline.
coming back. Adeline, Adelaide, Gatorade, somebody. There's a link, getting reacquainted, that talks about the shader changes. There's a Twitch gift sub bounty reward. Players who purchase the Twitch gift subs to progress the associated viewer bounty in the Destiny 2 official Twitch extension may not see that bounty progress immediately after purchase. Players should make sure to visit Amanda Holiday in the Tower to verify whether the bounty rewards were granted prior to submitting a support ticket. So check it before you yell that it's broken. There is a Twitch extension support article if you do have questions or issues with it.
so I have that running on my Twitch whenever I play Destiny, but I've never seen what it does. So I mean, if you guys are watching and it's not doing the thing for you, my bad.
People can't subscribe to either, so it's kind of a moot point.
You don't know if people can subscribe to me. You don't know how many people I've got.
No, I mean I've watched your channel. You don't have enough people because you're not affiliated. Because we had this discussion last week. when
Yeah,
you were
but
like,
I've
"You
got
can make
50
money at
now. I
Twitch."
got an email saying congratulations on your 50.
Moving on with
Bruh.
weekly known issues.
Yeah, so there's some known issues. So Bungie just wants to remind us that only the Perfectus armor set can be used to progress the Week 9 seasonal challenge suited for combat.
Can we say that?
I just want to remind you again, in case you weren't aware, enemies are still teleporting in various activities. Yes, they are. Some players may still have Season of the Hunt milestones listed in their milestones after listening to Osiris's transmission in Zavala's office. The Dreaming City bounty, Challenge the Shattered, doesn't complete after Tolan is found in the Ascendant challenges. The Legatus Mark seasonal Titan ornament clips into itself slightly. And Nitedemon, your Destiny 1 memories may display inaccurate completion dates.
No. I've looked at this even before. I was looking at this a couple of weeks back because I was just kind of reminiscing.
What is
It
wrong
used to-
with you?
It used to give you a picture of like the raid or whatever you kind of completed in Destiny 1, and it used to give you the full fire team listing of who it was and the date that it was completed. Everybody is now missing from my fire team that I completed the Vault of Glass, and then the date is something like 1972, and I'm like, 1972? I wasn't even born then.
That seems wrong.
Yes. So please put that back. Because
okay, so it's very broken, not just like the dates inaccurate,
Yeah.
like we broke something. Maybe
See, what
when
Destiny's going to do is they're going to fix it,
data.
and they're going to tell you to go back to D1 to rerun those activities to put the information back
So,
in there.
if
With
you're
the
unsure
same
about
player
what I'm
team you
talking
had
about,
before.
if you're unsure about what I'm talking about, is if you've played Destiny 1 and you completed certain activities, I think if you completed the campaign,
a
if you
raid?
completed raids, the Prison of Elders, things like that, whoever you completed those activities with, if it was a fire team, it would list everybody that was in the fire team, even if they changed their kind of their gamer tag over the years, it would change their gamer tag. So you'd be able to see who it was and what date you actually completed that on. And it was
That's
really cool. There's a little
intuitive and
emblem.
intelligent.
It was a little emblem that was on the character select screen that you could then click on, and it would run for about 5 minutes if you'd done everything in Destiny 1. And it just, nice reminisce. And I went back to have a quick look only a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, every little piece of information is missing. Hopefully this is something on their end that they're going to fix and bring back.
Ruh-roh.
If not, then I think I did take a picture at some point on some of the things, so I remember who it was that I ran, Prison of Elders the first time and completed that. So
Yeah, at some point,
little things.
I have it stashed a clip of it the first time around because when they played, I think when you started D2, that was part of like the intro screen or something, where like they would play that for you. I was like, oh, that's neat. I think I clipped it because I was like, I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to access this again. So I was like, I want to save it, but yeah, it's nice you can go back and I went back probably like a year or so ago now just to go, who did I get the first clear with? It's fun to go, okay, no idea who this person must have been an LFG person. Couple of
Or they
names,
changed the name.
right? Yeah, a couple of names where I was like, oh, I remember playing that once with you. That's why you're on my friends list, and we've never spoken since. So,
But it's easy to fix. All you have to do is get the exact same people you played with before, go back in time to the date that you completed it, and then complete it in the same amount of time that you did before, and then it'll be there. There you go.
No,
the amount of time
Don't
is
tell me
different. As long as you're on the same day, the amount of time doesn't matter. At least I don't think he told you the amount of time. At least I hope not, because that would be embarrassing.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Long number.
fire up your DeLoreans, get your Mr. Fusion filled up, and then, go handle that.
Ooh, okay. Well, Bungie just wants to leave us with the thought of, we've covered celerity and bottomless grief last week. We're all excited to look at things like Iron Grip, Subsistence, Unrelenting, and more. And they're going to have, more lists of changes for us in the coming weeks.
Mhm.
But outside of the scintillating sandbox scoops, we still have a bit more to cover in the coming weeks. Guardian Games is almost on our doorstep. Transmog's right around the corner. Vault of Glass is on its way. Hell, there's even a fresh new season of content just over a month away. Excited yet? I know I am. Cheers, DMGO.
I definitely am.
Yeah. So it's also worth just reminding everyone that, Destiny folks new and old, the season is changing. This is when the nerfs and buffs come. This is when they rebalance things. This is where everything gets, we put everything in the box, we shake it all up, we throw the dice back on the table and go, okay, some different weapon will be super overpowered next season. Can you guess what it is?
I do like the fact that Titan Games is coming back on April 20th, so I just want to remind all the Titans, Titan Games, April 20th. Make sure that your vote is counted.
The fires have been lit. The hunters are no longer the wolf. They have taken their cloak away. It is time to raise the banners. Soon.
Now, are you not upset about this Suited for Combat? I thought that you would rage out about Suited for Combat.
I mean, why? Because, this is the third season that we've had to do something related to the seasonal armor, which is why I always keep at least one set. Now,
yeah, but
the only thing I could rage about is them not telling us about it.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of not great, especially towards the end of the season when most people have probably upgraded to their, permanent sets of armor now. That's probably long gone. So that's kind of scumbag-ish, but it's Bungie being a scumbag. I can't really say much to that.
I don't think they're being scumbags. I think they genuinely do miss these things out, but they're always trying to cater.
Because they're adding, like what you said before about other things that they've waited to be like, oh yeah, no, you have to do this to complete the challenge, but it's not backwards compatible. Well, then tell me that at the beginning of the season, right? There's no reason to hide it until the end of the season when you have a month left to go back and do something to farm for maybe a piece of armor like what you're saying about that you might not have because you deleted it because Bungie didn't say anything about it, right? There's no reason not to tell us what the challenges are up front. It's not a raid. It's not a freaking world's first. It's not anything that requires it to be a secret until the end, right? Unless, you're coming out with a new event that's tied to the damn challenges. I could understand that. You don't want to spoil the event. But there's no new event to the challenge using a set of armor to kill 400 enemies. There's no reason you should keep that a secret, right? And, in the future, tell people what they need to do. List it all from beginning to end, right? If what they're saying is you have all season to do these things, right? Why not give them all to us at the beginning of the season?
Yeah.
Are you afraid of people being overwhelmed? I don't think so. I think you're just trying to build an ambiance of mystery, which you fail at miserably, by the way. I don't know.
The only reason I think, I mean, they always kind of seem to miss a bit of communication, and what I don't understand is they're always trying to get new players involved into the game and be a bit more kind of not lead people by the hand, but give them a bit more explanation and reasoning behind things in the game to get more people invested in it. So I don't understand. I mean, they must know that they're getting a lot of players, new players in the game, and maybe in this season, we had some more new players. I don't understand why they're not telling people everything, just keep reiterating stuff so that the new players understand. I mean, us older players that get this kind of thing, like you said, we're used to it. So we can kind of see this thing coming. Oh, yeah, we're going to need to keep our full set so that we can make sure that we do something in week 9 that they haven't told us about. But newer players don't know that this kind of stuff happens and this stuff kind of comes up. So I think they need to be forward thinking with maybe next season. They need to explain things in a lot more detail because, as I said,
they don't even
we
need
can
to
kind of gloss
explain
over it.
Just release the damn challenges, man.
Yeah.
There's no reason to keep it a secret. You don't need to explain it. Just list it.
No, but they didn't. That's the thing. They, even if they had have listed it, they haven't explained it. But saying that, if they had listed it at the week 1, all the challenges going forward, people would have looked ahead in week 1 and questioned Bungie and gone, well, what do you mean by a full set in week 9?
And not even that, but somebody like you would have probably gone through the entire list as soon as it came out to try to explain to people, this is what you need to do, or this is what we think you need to do, to give somebody some kind of a heads up. But no, you weren't given that opportunity, and now you're just like, hey, that thing that you probably dismantled because now you got permanent armor since we're not sunsetting stuff anymore, now you need a full set. Ta-da! Yeah. What? Why? Anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, MIDI Respawn Rant.
So do we have any sort of report? Some sort of roundup, maybe, that what's the guy's name?
Respawn?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
So Hathmatics, hey, at DMG, I know it's probably hard to do, but can you guys please give us more advance notice on perk changes like Thresh? Okay, we guess it. DMG, it's been awesome seeing players come together to build strategies for the Proving Grounds at Grandmaster difficulty. Some parts can feel like a wall without prepping, but there's quite a few sandbox elements that people have discovered to outwit the Cabal and their pesky tanks. Additional advice. There is no shame in bumping the difficulty down to Master to get a feel for encounters before going Grandmaster if your 5 team is having trouble planning for the encounters. Had a few runs fall apart from a lack of ammo or being surprised by enemy spawns. Finishers that spawn ammo can be clutch if you're going all out during certain phases. If you don't want to sacrifice a super, Aeon Gauntlets can be a godsend. Warlocks, if you haven't gone something the hunt for Zer yet this week, he may have something you need.
What you need.
Okay. Yeah. DMG. Oh, and yeah. Please be respectful of folks. Talking through feedback on sandbox. Don't have to. Can't make me. Even if you find a weapon or perk to be difficult or annoying to play against, don't bully people who use them. Just playing the game like everyone else. Much love. I will bully who I want to, however I want to. You can't stop me.
I don't think he's going to try and stop you.
Oh, he's trying. Look, right? Oh, yeah. Please be respectful. Well, I see your pleas, and I say no. D1 Alpha Vet says it's clear that the community, me, believes that Felwinter's life should not be nerfed. Not me. Instead, I think about it. Why not buff shotguns so I can continue to maintain my 1.26 KD, not KDA? Thanks for the feedback. How long have you been playing Destiny? That's from Cosmo. Just, yeah. Okay. This is from Destiny. Repeat after us. Nobody puts Guardian in a corner. That is an awesome.
I think this is a preview of an emote that's going to be coming during Guardian Games. I think.
I want it.
So,
I need it.
yeah. It's the dirty dancing lift emote. So
Yeah. Due to an issue with the Destiny 2 Twitch extension, has been brought offline until further notice. Stay tuned for up. Why did you follow? Symbols on the season 14 Iron Banana weapons. They have runes like alien writing, crop circles. Some might even be inclined to say. That one's definitely a shotgun. What's this top? Is that also a
that's
shotgun?
the machine
No,
gun.
that is a machine. Destiny Season 14, Season of Redacted. Start date May 11th, end date August 24th. That's it. Guardian Games 2021 Triumphant Heir Apparent Ornament. I have seen better. We're investigating an issue causing crashes, traveling into the Firebase Hades area in the Dead Z. And that looks like that's it, unless you got something else, dude. Anything in the podcast info?
No, I think that's it.
I think it might be it.
The heir apparent is the Triumph heir apparent ornament, which is white with red, yellow, and blue symbols from the Guardian games.
Yeah.
Or Titan games, as we like to now call it.
I don't know who that we is.
Well, that's
me.
we the Titans that won last time.
The Titans that are probably going to win this time because they're probably going to nerf Hunter and then Warlock.
I don't know. I might play as my Hunter this time just to.
It doesn't matter. It won't matter unless every Hunter gets on and does absolutely everything. There is no way we're going to come close.
No, they might have a way of balancing it out this time.
We'll see. I
We'll
know
see.
Bungie, and I know that most of them are Titan mains, and I know they're not going to let Hunters
don't know
just
that.
lie by. I don't. I don't.
You don't know that.
Look at all the past tweets of all the freaking devs admitting that they're Titan mains. There's a couple Warlock mains out there, but not one has admitted to be a Hunter main. Tell me I don't know. It's proof in the pudding, all right? Look at the pudding. The pudding knows, okay?
Pudding does know.
Anyway.
And there's proof in the pudding of tips, tricks, guides, and builds.
Indeed.
We have another walkthrough by Fallout Plays on the Grandmaster Fallen Saber Nightfall ordeal. So this is a walkthrough and how to beat it. So if anybody wants to kind of do this when the Grandmaster rotation comes around, if you've missed it this week, or if you're just trying to get there with your light level like me, then this is something to refer back to. Cool Guy has one of the most lethal combinations in Destiny 2 PvP history, and no one uses it. This is a Warlock build with the Claws of Ahamkara that give you 2 melee abilities on the Stasis Warlock. So he's constantly proccing, getting people frozen, and then he can body shot them with the Borealis. And because he's frozen somebody, he gets the kill. And with the body shot, it's 197 to the body. And then if you get a final blow with the Borealis, as long as you've got green bricks, it automatically reloads another bullet into your chamber, which you can then use if you've got the aspect or the fragment that once you've frozen somebody, it gives you more damage. So you can then chain more kills with body shots. And it's a really cool video with him just going around and body shotting people with a Borealis. Use the 120 hand cannon, the True Prophecy as well. But I thought it was definitely one to maybe use in trials next week. Although I might still stick with my Monte Carlo build that I use with the Claws of Ahamkara, because I like that. Just freeze somebody, melt them with the Monte Carlo, and move on. Especially if you're in kind of close quarters. I find that quite funny when people kind of charge you down and you just freeze them as they're trying to charge you down with the shotgun, and then you just melt the heads with the Monte Carlo, and then you've reprocced the fact that you've got another melee again, using the exotic perk on the Monte Carlo. So I was on one of the maps where heavies.
You're not guaranteed that melee. You're making it sound like you're guaranteed to get.
No, you're guaranteed to charge up your melee when you're landing shots on. So you can either charge up some of your melee, or you get the chance of getting your full melee back. But also speccing into 100% of strength helps you you get 2 melees anyway. So if you're getting 1 kill and you've already got another melee there. When somebody else tries to come in and shotgun you, you can freeze them and then melt them down, and you're literally kind of guaranteed with those 2 kills to have another melee ready for the next person. And I was on one of the maps where, it's kind of toilet bowl, it's called. Down underneath is where you can pick up heavy between A and C, and B's right out on the other side of the platform. You can kind of drop down. I was down underneath where heavy was, and they were just coming in from one side, and I was freezing them and just melting them with Monte Carlo, freezing the next guy, and they were getting so frustrated. It took 3 of them to come in and try and kill me. But at that point, I had my super up, so they all got quite upset that I froze them all and then exploded them all, and then I think they all ran off to B because nobody came back after that. But with certain engagements, it's quite fun to do that, and I can see where he's going with this body shot build with the Borealis, that you can get a body shot for 197 using that aspect of when you've frozen somebody, it gives you more damage on your weapon. So that was worth a watch.
Right.
Also, if you're doing the Fallen Saber Nightfall Deal Strike, Cheese Forever has 2 videos for you. One is moving faster with the relic in the Fallen Saber Strike. So this is when you have to pick up the arc charge and then run down the arc corridor. If you do, you're kind of really slowed, but he has a way to kind of negate that. And he also has the boss phase cheese spot with the Telesto. So that's interesting. Another good bit of Telesto.
Everyone loves the Telesto.
iFrostbolt has the Wolverine build for the hunters. So this is on an Arc Strider using the gauntlets. You just double check. What's the ones that if you melee? I think it's on Top Tree.
Liar's Handshake.
That's it. Top Tree Arc Strider with the Liar's Handshake. So basically being Wolverine, and the exotic hand cannon, the Crimson. So when you get a kill, you automatically refill your magazine and you get health back on it. And yeah, it looked quite an interesting build.
Well, another while you're talking about that build, what I've been using lately, and I think it's very fun, is Top Tree Arc with the melee that you're talking about, but Bombardiers. As I dodge away, they get hurt. I get my melee back, finish them off, right? So you don't have to double hit with the melee.
Are you dodging away from them to get your melee back?
What's that? No, I usually dodge to the side.
But you when you dodge to the side or away from them, you get your melee back, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay. First of all, you have to spec that in, right? Anyway,
no, that's why. I mean, I said the same thing last week, but you told me you didn't get it. Yeah. Your melee back. I'm just double checking.
I didn't say you didn't get your melee back.
You're now saying that you do get your melee back.
No.
I'm just double checking this.
First of all, you're talking about how the distance you put between somebody puts you in melee range if you dodge away from them out of their range. I was like, no, you don't, because if you're out of their range, no, that's not how that works. You don't get the throwing stuff. But you were talking about the throwing stuff, yes. Anyway, point is.
But you're saying that if you do dodge away from them, you get your melee back. I'm just double checking this.
Yeah, but the Bombardiers are left in place. You're all like, oh, if you dodge away, you get your stars back. But you're too close.
No, you don't.
To throw the throwing star.
Because you know what? I tested it out in Crucible this week. You dodge away, you get your stars back. I tested it out in Battlegrounds this week. You dodge away, you get your melee back.
I never said you don't get the melee back.
Wrong.
No, unless you edited it out. I never said you don't get the melee. I said you can't use the motherfucking stars.
You're wrong.
You know wrong. Talking over me. But the people, unless you've edited it out, I never said you don't get your melee. I said you can't throw the goddamn stars.
You can.
Because you're too goddamn close. So you're wrong.
You're wrong.
And you're sitting here yelling at me, telling me that I'm wrong.
That's not yelling at you.
Even more wrong.
I was singing. I wasn't yelling. I was singing.
No, you were yelling while you were singing.
No, I was wrong.
You saying that to me is slander and a lie, because I never said you don't get the melee back. I said you can't throw the star.
You can throw the star.
Getting the star back does you no good if you're too close to throw the goddamn things.
You're wrong.
I'm not wrong. You're wrong, Titan Main.
You're wrong.
Because when you dodge, especially if they're chasing you, you are too close to them to activate your ranged melee. You are wrong.
You just don't
So
know how to
unless
hunt.
they were
You
running
just don't
away
know how to
from
hunt
you,
it properly. You
and
just don't know how to
passed
hunt it
away
properly.
from somebody
I
running
can
away
hunt
from
it properly on a.
there's no
I can hunt it
way
properly on a hunter.
that you can get far
I
enough
can hunt it
away
properly on a
to
warlock.
use your ranged melee
I can hunt
from
it
a
on all the
dodging
classes.
distance. That is not a thing, even at max distance, unless you have the Mask of Bacchus on.
Anyway,
Then you don't get that range.
tell
to
us about
use
your bombardier build,
ranged
because this is boring.
melee. Anyway, it's the same build, just use bombardiers instead of Liar's Handshake. They get the damage from the bomb, and then you have to melee them once to finish them off instead of twice. That's all.
Okay. Thank you for that. Ironwork Gaming has done another review on the Cloudstrike for PvP and PvE. Now, this is the exotic sniper rifle that you can get from doing the Empire hunts on Europa. He goes into how to get this weapon and how to use the weapon in PvE and PvP, and what kind of, loadouts and things that you kind of need for it. So it's definitely worth a watch if this is a weapon that has eluded you and you're interested in getting this. As I pointed out last week, Boneless Revenge has got really cool videos, a couple of 2-minute videos on shaders for weapons and armor. And this week, he's done one for the best red shaders that are available and what they kind of pair well with, and one for Peroty. Amethyst Bloom is a best shader. It does really good shaders on weapons. He tried it on armor, and it kind of didn't do much, but on weapons, it kind of gives a slight animation to it. So it was one that he's kind of pointing out to people. That's interesting. JB3 has got a grenade climbing tutorial video for you if you're interested in how to do that. Froggy618157725 has got how to breach or how to break out of the box, and he shows you how to do this on the moon. And I was a bit taken back. I didn't know what he meant by breaking out the box, but he means kind of out of the actual player zone. He goes into the dungeon and then kind of jumps out of the map, and then shows you how to kind of just break out of the whole kind of Destiny arena. So I thought that was quite interesting. Cami Cakes has how to win more Iron Banner freelance. Just a 20-minute PvP live video showing you why you want to win more and how to win more. I found another video that has done some shaders, which was I think it's called by Crips, how to make a Blackout Titan set in Destiny 2 fashion. So that was a 7-minute video, but it looked pretty cool. The Titan looks really cool with his syntheseps on. So I thought this would be one for anybody that likes rocking their syntheseps like Peroty. And Gaming Animal has the best shader that is going to be coming up in about 2 weeks' time, and it's called Seven Sister. And it's another one of these kind of, it's really cool. It looks like a starry night, blue, blacky kind of thing with stars on it. And yeah, it's called Seven Sisters, and it comes up, I think he said it's in the second week of Guardian Games. He has a video on that and why you might want to pick that up from the Eververse store. And finally, Fallout Plays did a video on Thresh now working in PvP, because he did one when Thresh was a new perk in the game. He tested it in PvP and it didn't work. And then Bungie sneakily dropped this in this week, just on Twitter, I think it was, wasn't it? After
they did, they said they forgot it in the notes from the patch notes. He's like, DMG dropped it in saying we forgot this one. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
PvP now, so the entire world got fire as that news dropped, because that's all YouTube was for a day.
Because when you get a kill with Thresh, it takes off another 2 seconds off of your super. So if you get a kill and you get a kill with a Thresh weapon, it takes it to 7 seconds off of your super. If you get a kill, I believe when Fallout was testing it in his video, he said it's exactly the same as what you get when you're wearing the Battle Harmony exotic chest piece for the Warlocks. So he said for stat, it's exactly the same, you get back in super energy. So he said, I wonder if Thresh pairs with the Battle Harmony. And guess what? It does. if you get a kill with a Thresh weapon whilst wearing Battle Harmony, it will knock 11 seconds off per kill in PvP. But
What?
you can go one better if you wear the Nezarec Sin, the exotic helmet for the Warlocks, that
And a
if you
void
get a
weapon.
void kill, so that will also take off, that will also give you more super back with void weapons. You can get 13 seconds off per kill with a void weapon
Jesus.
with Thresh. So think about this with like the new palindrome dropping in the Nightfalls. You can get Thresh on
Or
that.
even that
and
old
that's-
scout rifle.
Yeah.
The very first scout rifle when this season started dropped with Thresh, remember?
Yeah.
And it's void. Yeah.
You've got the bottom dollar, which from Gambit will also drop with Thresh.
You've got the heavy weapon from the raid. That's a void and it can drop with Thresh.
Premonition, which is the pulse rifle that's been reintroduced this season with going back to the moon, but you have to do the dungeon to get that. That again is also void and probably worth looking at. He also says Stars in Shadows, which is a solar, but also that can roll with Thresh, but he says it's quite good for, killing people in PvP. So definitely worth checking out if you're interested in that. No, Chaperone won't give you Thresh.
Yep. Awesome. Yep.
So now it's over to Peroty to finish the show.
Well, thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Nitedemon. Your hunter is no one responds in real life. Your lore scribe out in the wilderness, lost to us, is Not Arf. You can email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. Find the show on Twitter at twotitans_hunter. We're also on Instagram and Facebook at twotitansandahunter. You can find your favorite Guardian on Xbox Live, Respawn on PC, listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere fine podcasts are sold in all the countries it's available. Watch the show on YouTube. Join the Discord, discord.frozen.party. That's frozen with a 0. Thresh works in PvP. And gents, say goodnight.
Deuces.
Deuces.
Bye.
Bye.